6.5 maybe. So there you go. It's just a really neat tree.
Hello, good morning. How are you doing? I am Bert, and you're watching Road Odyssey. Hey, how are you? Hope you're doing great. I know I am. It is a fantastic day again. So yesterday, my wife and I, we just took a nice long drive. For us, about 3 hours getting out to Washington, Arkansas from North Texas. And we took a back road that we had not taken before, and it was fairly decent. So I will torture you with a few minutes of that drive and what it was like. Not my favorite back road, but it was a decent back road. Then we get into the town, drive around, photos of the buildings, and then I'll go over some history and some little unique factorial tidbits about this place. So let's get going into it.
On this map, I'm just merely showing that for us in North Texas, say from Paris, Texas to Washington, Arkansas, there are multiple routes that you can take. Again, another snapshot of the route that we did take from Idabel to Washington, although the alternate route I've got partially marked in red, I believe is my favorite. It takes us about 40 minutes to an hour just to get up here to the Red River. So we're about to cross it, enter into Oklahoma, hop up to Idabel, and begin our back road drive to Washington. And what's a backcountry ride without a puppy dog in the middle of the road trying to greet you? We've just crossed into Arkansas and getting on 380 West. Upon crossing into Arkansas, we got into Cerro Gordo, and it's got a really cool history of caves and hidden treasures and a trading post and French trappers. So check this little place out, and here's a little shack also that's just right down the road. At the intersection of 41 and 380 West is this really cool little church. Heading north on 41. Now we're heading across 24. Here's an example of a little town that we passed through, very common on this trip. We're skipping ahead to Nashville, Arkansas. Here's a quick drive-through of downtown Nashville, Arkansas. Nashville has some pretty neat buildings. Back in the neighborhoods, I believe there were some nice old homes, and this old church, I believe, is a museum. A little ways west of Nashville, we spotted this house with the old truck and Coca-Cola sign and mural. Also spotted this house from the main drag northwest of Nashville, and it's not too far from the garage that I have clips of coming up next. Here's the garage that's on the main drag west of town with the Thunderbirds and other old cars. We are entering Washington. And as you go from north to south on 278, on your right-hand side is the cemetery. I went ahead and went into the cemetery real quick. There is a Confederate memorial, and that's pretty cool. 1861, 1865. Here's a plaque. If you want to read it, just pause the video real quick. A lot of really cool headstones out there. It's a pretty good sized cemetery. And of course, there were plenty of people from many moons ago buried there. Now we are entering Washington. Church to your left, the big tavern, bed and breakfast, kind of hotel is on your right. Just passing it right now. Franklin, crossing Franklin right here, 195. And just up here on your right is the other tavern restaurant that we eat at. You can see from the map it's a really tiny city. You can easily walk end to end and all around in no time at all. Here I'm driving from south to north through the main drag of the city. Washington, Arkansas was an important stop for James Bowie, Sam Houston, and Davy Crockett as they traveled through. James Black, a local blacksmith, actually forged what might be the first version of the Bowie knife, and from 1863 to 1865, Washington, Arkansas was the Confederate capital of Arkansas. The first place to go is the Visitor Center, which was one of the courthouses. It's also a very large museum with bathrooms around back. Morrison Tavern is a reconstruction of an 1830s inn. It's based off of an original 19th century building that once stood in this location. In 1874, the railroad bypassed the city, marking the end of its heyday. The following year, and in 1883, there were two big fires destroying much of the business area. And then finally, the Washington Preservation Movement began in 1929. There is a bed and breakfast or two in town where you can stay, and plenty of lodging that is nearby. They also have events on a seasonal basis that are like Civil War reenactments and things like that. Check their website for the calendar of events. Alright, straight up ahead is the Blacksmith Shop, reconstructed in 1961. This is where Mr. Black, a silversmith, made the first Bowie knife, also known as a toothpick. So this is a working blacksmith shop, and it's very interesting. you can see my wife, she's just across the field right there, and she is walking towards this huge magnolia tree. I'm a little bit shaky with the camera, sorry. But there's a decent sized crew cab pickup truck over there. So if that gives you any idea as to how big that tree is, man, it is just huge. Very large. Alright, so I got Virginia in here. What are you, 5'1"? Okay, so she's 5'1". There's a good 5 feet. If you reach up, it's what? You reach up about 6.5 maybe. So, there you go. It's just a really neat tree.
Hey, well, thank you so much for watching this video. I really do appreciate it. Y'all have a fantastic day. Be safe. Take it easy. Comment below. Tell me what you think about this old town and some of the history. Subscribe. Thank you so much. And I will see you later. Be safe. And get out there and drive. Bye.